Hello and welcome back to Over the Next Hill Fitness Podcast. I am Carla Coffey and I am your coach and your host for the program. I want to thank everybody who's been following, rating, sharing the show. It's really appreciative of you to do that. If you haven't rated the show 5 stars, please go do that. I know it takes a minute, but if you go on that hit that purple icon and you can probably give me 5 stars, write a review. In the show notes, there's a place to buy me a coffee if you'd like to support the show that way and have your name mentioned. I do that as well, and I appreciate that. There are also some other links in the show notes for Hydro Patch, which is a sponsor of the show. You should try Hydro Patch. It really does work. I'm a firm believer in that. And also, follow me on all the socials. You can reach out to me if you need a coach, Carla at coffeecrewcoaching.com. You can check out the website there as well at coffeecrewcoaching.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. You can just look me up just about anywhere. Today, I'm going to be talking to Angela Ryan. You guys, we had such a fun conversation. I can't wait for you to hear her experiences. We had some fun off air too, but sorry you didn't get to hear that. But yeah, Angela is a friend local to me here in Madison. We've met a couple times out on the trails, and so it was really nice to get to catch up with her and hear all the excursions she's up to now. So I hope that you'll enjoy the program and that you'll share it with somebody and let them enjoy it too. Thanks, and we'll talk soon. Hey, Angela, welcome to the show. So great to have you here.
Great to speak with you, Carla. Looking forward to catching up.
Yeah, it's been a little while. So with that in mind, what have you been doing lately with your running?
I am training to really get back in shape, but I have a ski race coming up and there hasn't been snow. So I need to really work on my hills and my speed and my strength. So I'll be ready. I'm doing the Cortolope at the Birkebeiner, the open division on, I think February 19th on the Wednesday. And so it's an 18-miler. And so a lot of hill running, a lot of distance running, and then some more strength training as well to try and keep, get in shape without being able to do it.
Wow. So you'll be doing those hills with skis on? Is that?
Yes. Yep. And I would be able to do it with the traditional skiing, but I signed up to do the skate skiing, which requires more technique. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but we will see how it goes.
So what is skate skiing? I've never even heard of that.
So traditional cross-country skiing is parallel, and skate skiing is sort of diagonal. You push out from your legs and you transfer the weight more. So it's more like the rollerblading technique, so it's truly skating as opposed to the direct parallel.
So are the skis still just as long? Because that seems like that'd be hard to do.
They are about the same, but the waxing is different on them, and you have longer poles, and it's a lot of upper body strength that, as a runner, I don't quite have. So that's why I've been trying to work on. So it's really an all body, totally aerobic. And, I don't know, Anne Heaslett does it. And did you remember Tom Kaufman from the track club?
Vaguely.
So he is out. So you see a lot of runners who are out there and they do the running as their easy work before they go skiing.
Yeah. Wow.
Because they're really aerobically fit.
That sounds like something I don't ever want to do, but I'm happy that you're doing it.
Well, it's interesting to do in the winter because racing in the winter is a little bit more challenging and trying to keep fit. Yeah. So it's a good way to ensure that you go outside and sort of balance gives your muscles a little bit of a different aspect and keeps you really working on being fit and helps you enjoy the winter by doing some of those. So I have the Cortolope, and then this week, or in a weekend, I have book across the bay, which you can run. It's in Ashland, northern Wisconsin, and you can run across Lake Superior, or you can skate or traditional ski. And it's a 10K loop at night with luminaria, and it's just gorgeous.
Wow.
So, so there's some of the running group are going up and they will just run across it, and some will ski.
That sounds terrifying.
It's beautiful. It's one of the most wonderful winter experiences. It can be chilly, but it's a 10K course, and it's lit with ice luminaria the whole way. Each kilometer, they have bonfires on the lake, right on the ice, because the heat goes up, and you get treats the whole way along. And at the 8K, they have a fire-breathing snow dragon.
Oh, wow.
So, if you're going to run in the winter, or you're going to be outside in the winter doing something, this is totally motivational. It's combining the fun, the workout. And so that's how my running / other exercises have been going. I really try to enjoy the winter. It's never treadmill.
Yeah, for sure.
Be outside the whole time.
Yeah. Well, you will have to take some pictures and share those with me, because I would love to see the fire-breathing snow dragon. That would be great.
It is really fun as you're coming along, and you're like, the first time you see it, it's like, is that what I'm seeing? And so this is my 3rd or 4th time doing it, and you're always looking forward to seeing that. And then the end, they have fireworks and a big dance and party in the tent. So it's a true experience.
Yeah. I could maybe be motivated to do that with the treats, depending on how wonderful they are.
Yes.
But the ski one, I could see me crossing my skis and just falling. So that's...
Yeah. And trust me, that will happen, I know. So I like to downhill ski as well. So I like to change. So it's going uphill on skis that's really the challenge, because you either have huge strength in your glutes and legs and then upper body, or else you're kind of walking up the hills with, the duck pattern.
Yeah. Wow. Well, kudos to you. That sounds amazing, but also very difficult. So that's great. So what's your running been like before winter came?
Good. So I had a decade of where, I was getting injured constantly, and then I started doing more Pilates, more weight training, more overall body conditioning, and little by little my body started to feel better, and I've been able to ramp up my miles now that I'm consistently like in the 30 to 40 miles a week.
Great.
Just haven't been able to get back to speed, so I'm still trying to work on that, and but I think that comes with age as well. I think at a certain point you have to accept that you're going to get a little slower.
Well, I don't know. If you listen to my podcast when I interviewed Jeannie Rice, she's late 70s and she's still running a 3-something marathon.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get back to, doing some more of the speed. My issue is more with my lungs, and then getting back some of the, so I've been trying to add in some plyometrics and build that bounce and strength back. I think we don't realize, especially over COVID, how much sitting we were doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But plyometrics will really help with your speed and because of the takeoff. So that's great. I do a lot of plyometrics and have my athletes do plyometrics. And for people who've never done it, when they first get with me, they're like, what is this crap she's got me doing? But
I'll have to talk with you about that offline and understand what you're doing, because that piece of it, I love to run, and I finally got an app called Dynamic Runner that has weight training routines and that I can actually follow. But getting the discipline to do that piece versus just spending the time outside running and enjoying it is a little bit hard. So I know I need to do more of it, but I need to be more disciplined about it.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yes.
I feel like the only time we really embrace strength training is when we're too injured to run, because you got to do something, and then people get on board with it after that. But yeah,
Yeah.
because our love really usually is running, you know.
Right. And I now have a good collection of different weights, and where I run into trouble is I travel a lot for work and for personal, and you can't obviously travel with weights, and I don't really like going to the gym at the hotels.
Right.
So I take rubber bands with me, and I'll take some things like that, and I will try to use them.
Yeah. Yep. You could always just do push-ups to failure and squats to
Yeah.
failure. That'll get
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I've been trying like the jump squats, and I
Yeah.
think I have a vertical leap of about a half a centimeter. So
Well, your plyometrics will help that.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I used to Irish dance, so I should
Yeah.
be able to jump, right? But it seems to have slacked off over the years, so I have to get back to it.
Yeah. So let's back up a page and
Yeah.
let's talk about how you started running and what got you into running and skiing. Let's
Um,
fit that in there too.
Yeah, so the getting into running was actually when I was a child, right? And in our neighborhood, the kids would be outside and we would run around the block. And I remember we would do that like fairly often. And I noticed like I was beating the boys of my age kind of thing, right? Like, so I had the inherent ability to do it. And while I was doing that for a while, I joined some community races, and I did reasonably well just for a short time, but then I didn't keep it up at all, right? And it wasn't until I went to graduate school, I came over to the US, and people were out running, and I just got back to it, and like people at lunch would go out for a run and I would join them with it. And I realized like just how much that had been missing, right? Like how I loved how my body felt when I was, running and pushing and like just feeling that power.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
So, and I wish I had kept it up more before I was back to graduate school. But, I did, I used to do a lot of biking and other things. So I was never not active, but I wasn't just running.
But better late than never. At least you got back
Yep.
to it when you
Yeah.
did.
So,
Yeah.
and I've been running constantly then since like early 20s.
Okay. Now, are you primarily a trail runner? Because that's how I met you, is on the trails.
No, I'm mostly a road runner
Oh,
and
okay.
lake to trails. Yeah.
Okay.
And most of the time I would have run on my own or run with my kids or with a small group, but there's a Sunday group of women that run on the trails during the summer and as long into the winter as we can up until they're snow covered. I don't run snow covered trails. Some people love it, but it's really hard on me to do that. So I would say 70% road, 30% trails, but the long runs are mostly on trails, to be a little more gentle.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting? Because I'm like a 5% trail runner and 95% road runner. And yet we met on a trail run.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
bizarre because we both run with the same road running group as well. And we met in a trail group. That's so funny.
No, and the trail group, I love running on the Ice Age Trail or finding other trails that I can go on. And actually, over the last couple of years, I've gone on some trail running holidays that with adventure running, and we went to Yosemite and we went to the Amalfi Coast, and there was running the trails there was just like spending a week just trail running was right. Like it is total freedom and nothing like running a trail to get your mind away from work. 'Cause when I road run, I end up thinking about work too much or about other things. When you trail run, you're watching and you're in the moment, because otherwise you'll be on your tail end.
You're in your face. You're either in the moment or in your face.
And so I really, I love the beauty of trail runs, and I'm planning to do the Wicklow Way in the end of May with some of the women from around here. So if you're interested, you're more than welcome to join us. We're going to Dublin, and then we're going to run the Wicklow Way at the end of May.
Oh, wow. It even rhymes. I've never heard of that. Or the adventure, what'd you call the group?
Adventure Running. So they're they're based out of Duluth in Minnesota, and they have different trips all over, and they're very effectively priced, and the routes are great, and they handle all the logistics and like getting you to the start of the trail and getting you back, right, and making sure you're fed and that you're with a good group. It was fabulous.
Wow, it sounds like it.
Yeah. I was going to say more of my running has been around fun and experiences, versus I used to be very focused on racing, and now I'm just focused on the joy of it. So I tend not to like look how fast I'm running or doing. I tend to do it more by feel and by just the enjoyment of it.
So when you go to Dublin, it's going to be people from our local area that you're traveling with? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So some of the same people that you've met and I've been running with, and it's a small group of us because we're trying to like the timing. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure that we get the group going. I have planned the route. I have the hotels, and now I'm just working on the logistics. So
very cool. That sounds amazing.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. Can't guarantee the weather in Ireland, but it will be the days. We're going at the end of May, which is the longer daytime, right? So it should be bright from like 5 a.m. till kind of 10 at night. So it's a beautiful time to be in Ireland. And the Wicklow Way is one of the most beautiful parts of the country. And it's I think it's like 80 miles from the south of Dublin into County Wicklow through the Dublin and Wicklow Mountains. And it's a marked trail, and you look out into the it's in the mountains, but they're not very high, but it looks out over the Irish Sea, and it's just gorgeous. And we run by Glendalough, which is a monastic settlement from the 8th century maybe, and then we'll do a loop through there, so it should be really beautiful. It's really scenic.
How did you hear about this? How do you know so much about it? Just from reading?
Well, I'm Irish.
Okay. I thought maybe you were. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah. So I came here first during graduate school, and so when I go home to Dublin, I run different segments of it, but I haven't run multiple segments of it together. So after doing the adventure running ones where we pieced it all together, I'm like, I really want to run multiple segments of this. So I'll come in and on, the first day we'll have a rest day, but run one of my favorite places to run in the whole world is around Howth Head in Dublin. So it's a coastal run. And it is truly one of the most glorious places to run. It is, you can see over the whole city of Dublin, but then you're really, even though it's in the city, it's very remote, and you can look down like 100-foot cliffs, and you're in the heather, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm going to take them on that, and then we'll go drive to the south and then start, and we have 4 days sort of on the trails there.
Wow, you are going to be the perfect tour guide, having been from there. Wow, that's so amazing. They're so lucky.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to work to make sure, we have a good time. So.
Wow. So then, prior to doing the adventure races, what other types of adventure runs? What other types of running and races did you do?
I am predominantly a 5Ker,
Mm.
you know. I really like the short, hard, and I will do some 10Ks. I'm really, really, really bad at marathons. So I always want to be good at them, but I blow up. I've done 3 so far in my lifetime, and you know, I've a 3:55, a 4:05, and then the last one in Dublin was 4:20 in my mid 50s, and I'm like, I'm going the wrong direction with this. So
No, I think that is the right direction.
but you know, I was a reasonably good 5K runner, and it should translate, and I've never been able to do it because I blow up at about 18 or so,
Yeah.
you know. I need to, it's one, I really like 5K, and I will take the pain and do that, and I love like 800 meters, I love the mile, I love that piece of it, and I actually have done a couple of good half marathons, right? But I like trail half marathons or
Mm-hmm.
something. And, but I have a planned marathon I'm running, with my niece in Dublin in October. So the Dublin City Marathon. So I'm signed up as a charity runner for that. And, I have to get back in and start training for that seriously. So that's my goal for the year. I have, you know, I'm doing the skiing now. I'm signed up for the Ice Age Trail half
Yep.
marathon
Yep.
in May, and then a
Mm-hmm.
couple of other ones. And then the big one that I'm trying to work towards and my plan is around is getting in shape for the Dublin City Marathon. So,
Very cool. So what charity are you raising for?
the Irish Cancer Society.
Okay.
And the reason for that is all my work is tied up with cancer research, cancer therapeutics, and that. And my niece happens to be the president and CEO of the Irish Cancer Society. One niece is, and then her sister is going to run it with me. And it's like, so what? Better charity to raise money for than that organization. I think I focused on an Irish charity, and then cancer is just such an important area, and it impacts so many people
For sure.
and takes so many lives. And the work that the Irish Cancer Society does is amazing in helping people navigate treatment, making it like sending nurses and to help people understand what the treatment is, help them get to treatment, you know, get access, get guidance, and ultimately, hopefully have better outcomes. So I think it's a very worthwhile cause as well.
Well, we'll put a link in the show notes. So if any of the
Oh,
listeners want
thank
to
you.
donate, they can help support the cause and your race.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
yeah,
So I'm
absolutely.
looking forward to it, and I really, I just have to work on getting fit enough for it. So I've good base, but
Well, yeah, I would think with this ski thing you're doing, you're going to be just fine. That sounds like
so
so much work. Wow. Now,
yeah,
so
so.
speaking of that, how did you get into that? What made you decide just so you could stay outside, or it's easier than running?
Yeah, so I grew up in a country that didn't have snow. Like we got snow once every 5 years or otherwise. And, but when you come to Wisconsin, and I've lived in Wisconsin, like, since graduate school,
That
pretty
was going to
much
be
all
my
the time,
question.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've lived here, and, if you're going to live here, you have to enjoy the winters. And, when I worked at Promega, there were a lot of trails, and you could just go cross country skiing on lunch. So you could either go out for a run on the snow, or if you got cross country skis, you could go out and ski the back trails. And they are so beautiful. If you go out and break trail on cross country skiing, it is just so beautiful
Hmm.
out there, and it's quiet, and peaceful, and you can go kind of at your own pace with it. So that got me into traditional cross-country skiing. And then I've been watching a lot of people on the skate skiing, and I thought it would be a good cross training for running, because you really have to get your glutes and your glutes and hips and hamstrings have to be strong. And what's weak in all runners? Our glutes, our hips, and our hamstrings, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this is the perfect cross training for that.
Yeah.
The challenge with skate skiing is you have to have groomed trails, whereas with the traditional, you can go out and just break trail and make your own. So I try to do both. We've had a little bit of a dearth of snow this year, so
Yeah.
I have a membership at the CXC out in Middleton, and so they make snow, and you can go out and ski there anytime.
Oh,
The
wow.
biggest challenge, though, is it's either uphill or downhill. You know, so there is great training for the race, but it's hard training for developing your skill. Anybody can traditional ski. You have to learn technique, and I'm not that good at the skate skiing yet. So
you're taking lessons to learn the technique?
I've taken some, and I need to take more. And I travel a lot for work still, and so I haven't had enough time to do it. The other piece is when it's really cold, like 15 and below Fahrenheit, the skating doesn't work as well, because it gets too sticky.
Oh.
And so when I've been here, when I could take lessons, it's been really sticky. So I kind of need to time it better. But I travel a lot for work, so I was gone 3 weeks or 4 weeks so far this winter. So it's hard to, and I go to California, so it doesn't help to work on that. It's beautiful, but it's harder to get the training in.
Yeah. Well, we're getting snow tomorrow, so maybe you'll get something in this weekend. You'll be able to.
Yeah.
So
I need to be.
Where around here do you go that's groomed?
The CXC in Middleton, they make snow,
But
and
other
they
than
have
that,
when there's snow, Elver and Odana, they groom but you have to have like 4 inches, 5 inches of snow. And this winter we just haven't had any. So I'm very happy that I decided to get it was like $90 or something for, it's a great organization. They really have done a good job making snow, grooming it, and getting it ready. And they want to, I think, build a clubhouse out there and really make it into a facility that can give access to a lot of people for skating. So it's really nice.
We've definitely had the cold weather to make the snow. We've had maybe 2 inches.
Yeah, it's been really, really light. And I did. Do you run outdoors in the winter?
Oh yeah.
And
I can't do treadmill.
No, I can't do treadmill either. It just kills me. So we were talking about the appropriate footwear for it and what you do. And I have been having trouble with the micro spikes because it hurts the outside of my feet. So I finally made the screw shoe, the ones with the screws in the bottom of your shoes for gripping. And so I was happy yesterday that we had ice so I could go test them out, and they're working pretty well. So I'm happy that I'm able to, we're trying all the different traction devices, and traction or non-traction and how you live with winter. But I'm really happy I can get outside and really enjoy it.
Yeah. Who told, I think it was Bill that told us, the group I run with, about putting the screws in. Is that where you heard it too? Was from Bill?
So Rick Smith, who does the Saturday Marathon group, he sent me a video on it, and I couldn't get the right screws. So then I ended up getting ones on Amazon that they use for snow tires. that are really closer to the micro spikes, and they're really easy to get into the shoe. And they are only a 1/4 inch long on the screw part. And so I did the pair for myself, and I had extra screws, so I had a couple of women over, and we were making the shoes. And so I'm very happy with it. So
It's great.
you know, I've gone into the hardware store a couple of times to try and like find the right screws.
Yeah.
And these ones that I got on Amazon are really, they're designed for it. They're used in snow tires and like snow bike tires and for boots. And so they're really purpose made for it. And they seem to be working well.
Okay, we'll have to put that link in the show notes too, that we'll get that Amazon link. I'll be getting some of those. So, because what I usually do in the winter is wherever my oldest shoes are, those are the ones I wear, right? But they're also the most worn. So if you don't have the right screw, which I have never found, you're going, the sole is so thin that you're kind of going through, and then you can almost feel it through your insert. I've done that a lot of times. It's like, oh, a little.
And these are a
strong.
little bit shorter, and but they're working really well.
Perfect.
And so, and the set I got was 100 screws, right, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And they had the tool for putting them in.
Oh, nice.
And so it was minimal work, and I've been pretty happy with it. So yeah, happy to share the link on that because I could never find the right screws, even because some of them are 3/8 instead of a 1/4.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the 1/4, and I couldn't find them online, and then these ones came up. So, and they work.
Perfect. Yeah. And I do have yak tracks that I'll wear too. But sometimes those just like the snow builds up, and then you've got a backwards high heel that you've got this big clump of snow.
And I have yak track ones, and I have half yak track, half micro spike, and I have the full micro spikes. But they on a long distance run, they hurt my feet on top of my feet. Like if you get up like to 8-10 miles, then, you start to feel it outside of the shoe. And so I'm looking forward to this working well.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like the sound of it when you go across the street, like you got your little tap shoes on. If there's no snow.
Exactly. So Wednesday night we got freezing rain, but we were doing an out and back on the Southwest Corridor. And so we run out, and then we do intervals on the way back. Nice. And so I had them on that, and you could hear them right the whole way. Yeah. But it didn't start snowing until the way home.
Yeah, but they worked for you?
I didn't really need them, but yeah, they work. Yeah. They're fine because they don't interfere with your running at all. And but you have them if you hit an icy patch, which is, especially winter running. If you're out at night, I'm always worried about hitting an icy patch that I haven't seen.
Yeah. So a little patch of black ice. You can't tell in the dark for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So during the day you can normally see it, but I will run in everything except I really try to avoid the freezing rain, and because that I've fallen just one too many times.
Yeah. Yep, haven't we all? Or at least I have too. I know that. And was it 2 years ago? Brand new, almost out of the package, running pants for winter. And it was basically dry out, and there was a patch of black ice, and of course ripped my new pants. I don't think anything, I didn't even care that, I skinned my palms or whatever, but that knee had a hole in it, brand new. So yeah, I got to get my shoes. I haven't used the screws in them in a long time, so I need to try that again because I just could never find the screws.
I was desperate because we had an early snow, and I was out running with some of my women friends. We did the Lake Wingra loop, and I fell twice on, and it was kind of comical because we were just by Edgewood, and one of my friends has a Malamute, right? So like that's a snow dog designed to run on that, and I'm watching her going, oh, why is Susie slipping? Right. And then, so the dog slipped and then I
Oh
slipped.
no.
Right. So it was in a car track or whatever, and it was just a little bit easy or a little bit icy. And I just went over and I'm like, okay, we're doing something about the shoes because I
Yeah.
can't afford to fall.
As I recall, I feel like every time I ran with you on trails, you fell. That's kind of like your thing, isn't it?
I fall more than I should. So, but, I generally don't fall on the roads. I think I
Yeah.
don't lift my legs enough,
Yeah.
and then I get distracted because
Yep.
I'm not looking at what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And it's shoe dependent as well sometimes.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
you
Yeah.
know, and that's the hard part. Running on trails, you trip occasionally, right?
Indeed.
And which keeps you in the moment and it keeps you in the beauty, but you just have to, I like the gnarlier the trail. I kind of like it. So, you put up with a few trips.
Yeah. And tripping up is better than tripping down. I found I was
Yeah.
running a race in
Yeah.
Flagstaff and coming down, and I was not trying to go fast, but
Yes.
it was just the momentum, and it was kind of steep, and I tripped, and the guy that was in front of me must have heard the trip, and he stuck
Yep.
his arm out and saved my life. I was like, "Thank you." So I didn't
Yeah. And
fall.
that's for me, running downhill on trails, I will go really slowly. I
Hmm.
wish I could do it. And some of our joint friends are more mountain goats and like can really enjoy the benefit of gravity. But
Yeah.
I am very cautious with it.
Yeah, I normally am as well. Like I said, it just kind of got away from me. It was, there were bigger rocks on this
Yeah.
trail, and it was like away I went. So,
Yeah. I finally got for the big one, the big, longer runs. If you're going on that, I finally got like the, poles,
oh yeah,
to be able to do that and, navigate it. And actually they help quite a bit.
oh I bet, yeah,
So if you're going to do like 10 or 15 in really more rugged terrain and you're going up and down, the poles really help.
oh yeah, yeah, I'm sure. So, what
And
else would you like to let the listeners know? Tell us more stuff about your running. That's
um, I, for me, a lot of people ask, how do you get into running and how do you start? And what I like to say, there are no rules and just get out there, and if it's as simple as run 20 seconds, walk 20 seconds, run 20 seconds, walk a minute, right?
hmm.
Just get out and start. And then, do it so you are happy and you're enjoying it. And, if you need company, get somebody to go out with you. If listen to a book on like an audio book, listen to a podcast, or just enjoy the quiet and the peace, right? And get out there and just bring that joy back. And there's like, you don't have to be able to run a certain pace. You don't have to be able to, run a certain distance, right? It's just get out there and start it. And, then make sure you do the, stretching when you get back
Hmm.
and, keep yourself motivated. And honestly, it's something you can do anywhere in the world and you need minimal equipment and you can really, when I look at how healthy and how good I feel at the age that I'm at now, I know compared to, some of my peers, I think the running has really helped me to stay in shape and keep a very positive attitude. So, and, I know I've been able to explore. I've been fortunate with my work and with my personal life to be able to travel a lot of places. And I love to do a running tour of a new city that I'm in and
Mm.
explore it and see the sights. And, you can cover a lot of ground, I was in Florence last year, and I just did a run tour of the city. I had a day before, and then in each morning I would go out and arrange with the work group I was with. We would arrange a different run around the city. So it's a really good way of making friends and exploring new places and really, improving your quality of life. So get out and do it. And, and it doesn't matter how fast or otherwise you are. You just put a pair of shoes on and get outside and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. What's been your favorite vacation run that you've done, or tour, or whatever? What has?
Tour.
Yeah.
So my favorite place in the whole world to run is the loop around Howth Head in Dublin.
Okay.
It's on the north side of the city, and it's a peninsula that goes out into the Irish Sea. And I've run it in every different kind of weather. And sometimes you think you're on the coast of Italy, and sometimes you think you're in the North Pole based on the wind, So, and it is just, it's one of my happiest places to run. After that, I would say Yosemite. We did a week out there, and there's a loop that takes you up and by the Vernal Falls and Nevada Falls, and I think it's the Panoramic Trail, and that you see over the whole Yosemite Valley. You can see Half Dome, El Capitan, and all of that, and that's just spectacular. But to me, I love, if you're in Wisconsin, running the Ice Age Trail segments here is such a gift to us to have that available. So I finally got the Ice Age Trail guide book and the map. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm driving up north to my daughter or driving somewhere, I'll pick out a different segment to run. And I love running the during COVID, being able to go out on those segments and just be sort of out on your own. Mm-hmm. I don't know, they're just that as a asset that's available to us that we can use is just incredible. So I don't know. I'm happy anywhere I'm out running.
Yeah.
Not every run, but I come back and the memories are happy.
Yeah. Can you think of a time that was like your scariest run that you've ever been on, whether it was daytime, nighttime, a cliff?
Okay, so this is for all runners, and this is my PSA or whatever. So I was running the Mad City Relays 10 years ago, and I started out, and I wasn't able to breathe after about a half a mile. And I kept running. And at 2 miles, I had to, because I was a relay and I was the first one out. And I'm like, God, I'm being really slow, right? And people were passing me that shouldn't have passed me. And I couldn't get my breath. And I didn't know what was going. So I called my teammate, and somebody came out and met me at mile 4. And then somebody drove me back to the finish. And I was just not feeling right. And I was running for 2 more weeks, and I kind of would keep going back trying to run and keep trying to do it. And I just didn't feel right. And it turns out I had blood clots in both of my lungs.
Oh, wow.
So I had bilateral pulmonary emboli. And I thought, I was early 50s, and I thought, well, maybe I was having a heart attack or something like that. And not being able to tell in your brain that something's not right, So I was thinking I was lazy or I was something. So to me, that experience of not being able to get enough air when you're running. And I think it was travel related. So it was travel and dehydration and various different things, because I have no genetic basis for it. But a number of runners have had deep vein thrombosis, and then so the blood clot then breaks up and can go into your lungs. So if something doesn't feel right, go get it checked out. And if you're really fit and people look at you and you're like, I was having trouble breathing, really push them to find what is going on.
Okay, wow.
So
That's terrifying. So yes, that would definitely be a terrifying
and
thing.
you know, I run at night, and I have been fortunate, like when I travel, like I ask the front desk, is it safe to run here? Where can I run? You know, is it okay if I'm out at this time and doing that? And I've been really lucky to be able to run unimpeded, and I to find the places that a woman is safe to run at night on her own and out, and but I'm cautious about it, right? I'm
Sure.
sensible about where to go. So I've been lucky that I haven't been terrified from any specific experiences. So other than that not being able to breathe. And then in Yosemite, because I have a paralytic fear of heights, I was trying to run up, and I was doing the blinders so I couldn't see over the cliff. So my running friends laugh at me because I have such a fear of heights that like it impacts how I run on cliffs and
Yeah.
things like that. But
So those of you who
that's
are only listening on audio and not watching us on YouTube, she was putting her hands up over her eyes to block the sides like a horse with blinders on going up the hill. So I don't blame you. I have a healthy fear of heights myself.
yeah. So, but I've done a lot of mountains and hikes on. Have you ever gone out to Acadia in Maine?
No.
So Acadia, the national park there, there's the Precipice Trail and the Beehive Trail that has like the metal steps up the side of the cliff and that. And my daughter and husband kind of guided me up that with my eyes closed half of the time, you know. And so if I could solve one thing, you know, in any of my experiences, it would be to get over the fear of heights,
Yeah, I would say for sure.
because I'd be able to do a lot more trails.
Well, the Appalachian Trail is on my bucket list. I want to do a through hike of that. I will have to bring you, and we will hike that together because I think you would. It's not too many high spots. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but nothing
I think when
scary.
you get up towards Maine, there's
Yeah,
some of that, like where it finishes. I
the
think
Cahan.
that's
Yeah,
pretty, yes, yeah. So there's a couple of them, but
I'll
you
guide
know,
you up with your eyes closed.
that'd be perfect.
Do you have any last words you'd like to tell the listeners about running, other than it's okay to walk, which I really appreciate you mentioning that.
Um, just get out there and do it. And if you're injured and you're going through a rough time, really work on your physical therapy and your strengthening and all of the rehab piece, and listen, you know, just get back out and keep trying at it, and find your group that will bring you joy when you're out running, or go out and just enjoy it by yourself and just get out there.
Better words were never spoken. Thank you so much for being with us today, Angela. We really appreciate all your stories. And listeners, we'll put the links in so you can donate to her charity, and also find some screws for your shoes if you have a screw loose. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please continue to follow, share, and rate the program. If you're needing that coach, reach out to me. There's a button in the show notes that you can contact me directly. Share it with a friend if you think their story needs to be on the podcast. I'd love to hear from them. So thanks again, and have a great day.